Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
And we are live in Mineola, New York. It is Nassau-Suffolk Catholic High School Athletic Association conference play continuing as we turn the chapter to 2026. Chaminade, the Flyers, coming in at 9-3, riding a 3-game winning streak, hosting Holy Trinity at 10-1, and it is presented by Catholic Health here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So glad you could join us as we welcome you into the broadcast booth. Lance Meadow, Andrew DeLoya with you. And it's intriguing because both teams really come in similar trajectories. I mentioned they're both on winning streaks, really tested with two tough non-conference schedules, dynamic backcourts, and they've played a lot of games over the last few days. Chaminade 4 in the last 5, Holy Trinity 3 in the last 5 days.
Yeah, Coach Feeney and Coach Ganous, they set up really tough non-league schedules, and they have their teams ready for an early season conference matchup, which means just as much early in the season as it does late in the year. So I'm really excited to be here on the campus of Chaminade, and we're going to see a great matchup, Lance.
Absolutely, and there are a lot of talented players on both sides. So let's walk you through the impact players. And first, for the visiting Titans of Holy Trinity, it's about Ryan Reed. They need him to be the spark plug on offense. He comes in averaging nearly 15 points a game, also dishes out nearly 5 dimes. And then the man in the paint, Tristan Thomas, he averages a double-double on the season, as you see, 13 points and 10 rebounds. They need him to set the tone on the interior in this contest. Let's move over to the Chaminade Flyers. It is a family affair because it's going to be the Dillon brothers doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Kyle, he is their senior leader, top scorer, nearly 20 a game, also grabs just over 5 boards. That's second on the team. And his brother actually leads the team in that category with 5.5. He's just under 10 points a game, and Lucas Dillon could do it all, an extremely versatile player, as we'll have the Dillon brothers on Chaminade's side. We'll have the Reed brothers for Holy Trinity. We had an opportunity to chat with both coaches leading up to this game, and Andrew, why don't you take us through the keys to the game, what both squads were emphasizing?
Yeah, for Holy Trinity, they want to play great half-court D. It's been their calling card the whole year. Chaminade's offense gets you to chase them around, and Trinity wants to avoid that. They want to limit Chaminade's drives and disrupt their open three-point looks. On offense, they want to execute, move the ball, set the screens, run their offense, and make Chaminade work. On the flip side, for Chaminade wants to take care of the basketball. They've had a few games this year where that's hurt them a little bit. Granted, it's been against tremendous competition, but they really want to emphasize ball control. They want to be the tougher team, both physically and mentally. Coach Feeney spoke to us about that on the pregame call. And then they want to execute in special situations. From a coach's perspective, those special situations are critical to picking up 4 to 6 points a game.
And that played a role in their last game. Double overtime victory over Holy Cross, 89-87. They were up for a good chunk of that game and find a way to seal the deal, as they'll be looking to extend their winning streak here today against a Holy Trinity team that has won 10 of its first 11 games. It is the Titans and the Flyers squaring off here in Mineola as we near tip-off on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it. Really. I mean, Varsity Media has been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to. I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions. I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another three. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
And we are back here in Mineola, New York on the campus of Chaminade High School here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, presented by Catholic Health, as they will square off against Holy Trinity. And both of these teams have been battle-tested throughout the length of 2025, and this will be their first few games of 2026 here underway as we look at the starting five for Holy Trinity. Ryan and Miles Reed, the twin brothers, but don't overlook Jagger Verzosa, who is a senior guard that leads the team with 6 assists. Manny Ayeye is their leading scorer. He averages 16 a game. And then we highlighted Tristan Thomas off the top, who is quite the presence on the inside and is already getting looks from Malloy, as well as some other programs in the local area. Steve Ganous is the head coach of Holy Trinity. He's in his first season. He took over for quite the legend, Joe Conifrey, who has guided the program for 19 years before he headed over to Malloy. Titans all-time winningest coach, and Ganous has been with this program for 30 years, Andrew. He has been as much of a staple as Joe was.
And he still looks young. I don't know how he does it.
Indeed. He's fooling the Ponce de Leon school of philosophy in terms of the fountain of youth, as we look at Chaminade's starting five, Lucas and Kyle Dillon. We highlighted off the top. They'll be joined by Michael Weedy, who's one of their sharpshooters. He has a team-high 29 made threes under his belt already this season. Jake Elwood is the rock of the team, according to Dan Feeney. He also will do a lot of the ball handling for this squad. And Diego Dersch, one of their tallest players, 6'5" junior out of Garden City. He's averaging just over 6 points a game in the first 12, and he comes from some really good basketball genes. His father, Willie, played college ball at UVA. Prior to that, he started Holy Cross. He was Mr. New York basketball in 1996, and he left quite his mark on the Catholic League, and now the next generation of the family is hoping to do the same thing as we look at Dan Feeney, head coach in his 5th season for Chaminade, and a bit of an interesting wrinkle, Andrew, the fact that, as you see on the screen, a graduate of Holy Trinity.
Yeah, interesting. I had to coach against my Northport Tigers once when I was an assistant at Huntington, and it's mixed emotions for him. Of course, it laid the foundation for who he is, but he knows where his loyalty lies, as he told us yesterday. He's been with Chaminade a long time, and Chaminade is home.
18 years at Chaminade, and when we pressed him a little about emotions, how he's feeling, he said, let's not be fooled, let's not beat around the bush. He wants to win this game more so than anything, regardless of his ties to the Titans. But it just adds to an extra layer of the rivalry between both of these programs.
Yeah, and there's a lot of respect between the two programs as well. You know, you saw the Trinity guys applauding Kyle Dillon's accomplishment of 1,000 points, which was nice to see.
In their last game, he was able to surpass that 1,000 milestone, and it speaks volumes of what Dan Feeney has been emphasizing with respect to this program. It's not about individual accomplishments, it's about team goals, so that's why it wasn't a surprise at all that Kyle brought over his teammates to celebrate. As we see Dersch and Thomas doing battle, and we are underway here in Mineola with Lucas Dillon, one of the ball handlers, orchestrating traffic here for the Flyers. And we had a whistle as they were about to set up their half-court offense here. So they'll inbound underneath their own bucket. And Chaminade comes in averaging about 57 points a game. Holy Trinity is at 72. So there's been a bit of a disparity in terms of how both of these teams have gone about winning games. And Holy Trinity has surpassed 70 in 7 of their first 11 contests.
Both teams are up-tempo teams. Some of that 57 points a game, I think, has to do with who Chaminade played in 3 of their losses. And, you know, I think both teams play fast-paced, and it'll be interesting to see which pace this game takes on.
Kyle Dillon, maneuvering through traffic, is able to draw the contact, so he'll have an early trip to the free throw line here.
Yeah, there's only 2 officials on today's game. Typically, Lance, there's 3 officials on Catholic League games. Apparently, one of the officials had a emergency, and we have Jeff Harris and Corey Powell on the call.
As Kyle Dillon, 74% free throw shooter. The foul went against Tristan Thomas. That is his first and the team's first. Dillon averaging just over 19 a game, and he is able to capitalize in the early goings of this one.
You see Chaminade picking up full court.
It's Holy Trinity now with its first possession. We talked about getting the ball to Thomas inside is going to be a big point of emphasis. Good defense there by Dersch as they'll work it around the perimeter here. With Verzosa taking over and playing catch with Ayeye. Thomas has a step on the D and can't finish with the right hand. So Chaminade out into the open court here. Looking to pad its early lead with Lucas Dillon. Setting up a teammate in the corner. That was Weedy off the market, off the offensive board. They'll try a third chance here with Dersch from beyond the arc. And there to secure the rebound is Ayeye. Quick release for Verzosa, and he splashes it through, and Holy Trinity takes command by 1. Back and forth we go here in Mineola, as both of these teams have shown the ability to knock shots down from downtown. Dribble penetration there by Kyle Dillon, and the ball was the last touch, they're going to say, by Chaminade.
What I like early in this game is that both of the featured players, Kyle Dillon and Tristan Thomas, have been attacking the basket early as opposed to settling for jump shots, trying to set the tone that they want to get fouled, they want to get some easy buckets before they step back and start launching from three.
And also trying to get some high percentage looks too, which is a best way and a great way to jumpstart your offense. Off the curl, here is Verzosa again, and this time not able to find the bottom of the net. So quickly back the other way, they're looking to push as Dersh has an alley, and Dersh is able to get the roll for his first bucket.
Yeah, you could see, we've called a couple Chaminade games. Diego Dersh's confidence is picking up every time you see him, and it's probably related to the fact that he scored 19 points against St. Raymond's the other night.
Well, Dan Feeney considers him the best athlete on the team as they go a little in and out, and Thomas is able to drop it through, as we've seen now Holy Trinity showcase from long range.
Yeah, and I think the reason Tristan Thomas was open is because he attacked the basket on the previous possession.
So Thomas and Verzosa not gun-shy in the early stages of this one, and going to get a reach in here. They're going to go against Miles Reed. That'll be his first personal. As it was Jake Elwood who was backing his way down to the bucket. So Elwood is a 74% free throw shooter. As they are now 2 for 3 from the line, as Kyle Dillon knocked down his first 2 attempts. Elwood, the junior from Rockville Center.
Yeah, he just loves the game of basketball. He's such a competitor. He is their glue guy. I know you called him the Rock, either Rock, glue guy, interchangeable words with what he does for the Chaminade Flyers and Dan Feeney.
So a 1-point game here in quarter number 1. As Reed was sealed off. So he'll give it up to his brother Ryan, and they'll test the depths of the perimeter for Chaminade's defense. And we're going to have a foul inside, as it was Ayeye getting a good look.
Yeah, there was a great back screen on that possession. Trinity, Coach spoke about running their offense. They certainly ran it here. You see that beautiful look inside to Ayeye, and he couldn't finish, but he drew the foul.
So they get Elwood with his first personal. Ayeye can't get the roll on his first chance. He comes in averaging 16 a game. This is his second year on varsity. Last season didn't play as much because he split playing time with an upperclassman, but now taking on a larger role here in his second year as he makes 1 of 2.
Yeah, one of the things that Coach emphasized is that his defense has gotten better. He's utilizing his length defensively. As you see in these trap situations on the press, he's really working harder on defense.
So Chaminade looking to tie things up or perhaps take the lead with their big man Dersh giving it up to Kyle Dillon. Weedy looking for an opening, gets caught underneath the bucket, tries the reverse, and they're going to salvage this possession with Dersh spotting up. And finally, it's Thomas able to put a stop to that possession. Here's Ryan Reed, the fadeaway jumper. And a fight for the loose ball won by Kyle Dillon, who's not wasting any time getting it to Weedy. And the long rebound chased down here by Holy Trinity. So Ryan Reed is going to wisely reset with his team holding on to a 2-point lead. And off the dribble, the scoop shot attempt by Miles is off the mark, but he's going to earn a trip to the line.
Lance, both teams do such a great job offensively of spacing you out, moving the ball, creating driving lanes. Neither team plays with a player on the block, and that's why you see such great shooting opportunities and great driving lanes.
And a lot of ball handlers also involved on both sides of this equation. As we see the last opportunity there for Miles Reed, he was splitting 2 defenders. They consider him the most athletic player on the team and somebody that has come through in big moments throughout the early stages of the season as he makes 1 of 2. So Holy Trinity now implementing a bit of a full court press to try to fluster the backcourt here, led by Lucas Dillon for Chaminade. Dillon is going to hand it off, and they reset to Kyle. And off the follow is Lucas, his brother, able there to clean it up.
Yeah, Lucas knew where that ball was going because he's seen his brother shoot in the driveway so many times. He knew the angle it was going to come off the rim.
They don't need to read a scouting report on one another. They're more than comfortable. Ryan Reed, the pull-up jumper, and the smooth touch for a deuce.
That was a really good decision by Reed to go to the pull-up jumper as opposed to attacking and possibly picking up a charge. Great in-rhythm pull-up jumper.
So it's a 3-point lead for the Titans. Kyle Dillon trying to solve the Holy Trinity defense, and the pull-up jumper for Lucas finds the bottom of the net as he has a quick 5-point spurt.
Again, the brothers knew where each other were on that play.
Thomas the quick release, and that bounces his way as Thomas has a pair of threes. So that knot was quickly untied, and Holy Trinity is back in front. Too much mustard on that pass, and now the Titans have an opportunity to turn a turnover into a bucket. And a block there by Chaminade as they're quickly back the other way with Emmett Nelson, who is now in the game. He's one of their top 6 men. Thomas stopping in the lane, and they're going to say that was a clean block by Weedy, and now a foul on the follow attempted by Miles Reed.
You see the athleticism of Diego Dersch here as he challenges Reed on the play. If he would have just kept his arm straight up and not brought him down, he would have had verticality, and the ref probably wouldn't have made that call.
And that is the second on Dersch, and the team's third. So we'll see if Dan Feeney goes to his bench. As Miles Reed able to knock down the first, and we see Nicholas Sweeney checking in, replacing Dersch. Sweeney is another individual that they refer to as their 6th man, who really has taken advantage of his opportunities. A bit of an old school player.
He's as blue collar as they come.
A 4-point lead for the Titans. As Lucas Dillon not able to get around Ayeye. 15 on the shot clock, and the corner jumper is going to roll out. As again, Kyle Dillon having some good looks at the basket, just not consistently falling for the leading scorer of the Flyers. As they dump it off inside, and unable to finish underneath is Thomas. So that could lead here to a fast break. Elwood off the pump, tries to deliver it back, and Sweeney will wisely kick it out. Here's Elwood again, and the unfriendly rims on full display here at Chaminade.
And Chaminade's getting some great looks. The thing about Chaminade is the way they play, they can score in bunches. They can hit 3 threes on 3 possessions in a row, and you look at the scoreboard and you're like, how did that just happen?
Under a minute to go, Ryan Reed off balance, and Sweeney gets his hands on it. He comes in as a guy that cleans up a lot off the bench. And
He's also an old school 3-sport athlete. Football in the fall, baseball in the spring, sandwiches some basketball in the middle.
He was the only sophomore on the baseball team last season as they feed it inside, and Elwood able to finish as the final buzzer sounds of the first quarter. They set up the half-court offensive set, and it paid off with Jake Elwood putting the finishing touches on the first quarter of this one. Long-range shooting from Tristan Thomas, giving Holy Trinity an early lead as they take a 2-point lead to the bench after 1 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back here in Mineola, start of the second quarter, as we see Emmett Nelson, who came in off the bench late in the first quarter, trying to provide his team with a lift as Chaminade trails Holy Trinity by 2. In a back-and-forth battle, we saw the Titans knock down several threes, and Chaminade, Andrew, had some good looks, just could not fall.
Yeah, I've seen it before. They have the ability to go on a 9-point run in a hurry. They come out of the quarter in a 1-3-1 just to kind of take Trinity out of rhythm with Nelson up top. Sweeney in the middle. That's a great setup with an athletic Lucas Dillon in the back who can get to the corners.
Ayeye from well beyond the arc. And there is Nelson, the senior out of Rockville Center, who's going to lead the charge back the other way as Kyle Dillon just flips it up and in, plus the foul, with an opportunity to complete the three-point play.
So you see Kyle Dillon able to absorb the contact and finish through contact for the traditional N1. What I liked about what Chaminade did coming out of the quarter was they changed their defense up. They took Trinity out of rhythm. Trinity took a deep three, and Chaminade made them pay for it on the other end.
Foul went against Miles Reed. That is his second.
And they're back in this 1-3-1 with Nelson working up top.
And that's why it helps that Holy Trinity has several ball handlers in the game right now, including Verzosa, who is looking for his second triple. And this is going to head back to the Flyers.
I think Coach Ganus is going to make an adjustment on how they attack that 1-3-1, possibly at the half, maybe sooner in a timeout, because what they've done the last two possessions is taken NBA threes, and I don't think that's what they're looking for.
Because the passing has been more perpendicular than vertical towards the basket. As Dillon off the handoff is going to feed it in the corner, and a wide open look will not fall for his brother. Ryan Reed trying to pick up the pace. They work it around to Thomas. And Reed is going to get it back here with 19 on the shot clock. A lot of movement without the ball for the Titans. Verzosa has primarily relied on the three. And speaking of that, Tristan Thomas with the hot hand, 3 threes to give him 9 points.
Yeah, and that was a great job by Verzosa, getting into the paint, landing on 2 feet, and throwing an absolute strike to Tristan Thomas in rhythm for the 3 from the corner.
So he has 9 of the Titans' 17 points. And how about that maneuver for Elwood? Short. And this is the way for them to not allow that zone defense to set up. An ill-advised decision, though, by Ryan Reed, who off the deflection is going to get it back. And right place at the right time to secure his miss. So a fresh shot clock for a Holy Trinity.
Trinity's really doing a nice job when Chaminade is in man-to-man, getting into the paint.
Ryan Reed slashing to the bucket and earning a trip to the stripe. It's going to go against Lucas Dillon. That'll be number 1 on him. Dribble penetration has been a key here for the Titans. As Ryan Reed, the junior guard who is second on the team in scoring with nearly 15 a game, will have an opportunity to add to the tally.
The Reed brothers' older brother, Jaden, played at Long Island Lutheran. Won a state title as a senior. He's now a junior guard for Northwestern.
And he played his first 2 years at South Florida. So this is his 3rd year on the collegiate level. Good genes in that Reed family. as both free throws missed by Ryan.
Good genes in the Dillon family as well, as their older brother Devin was a key contributor to the Chaminade team that won the state title.
As Nicholas Sweeney is able to get his hands off the miss from Lucas Dillon. So it's a 1-point game here in Mineola, as Holy Trinity has been relying heavily on long-range shooting, but here they may be thinking about a pull-up jumper. As Ayeye, their leading scorer on the season, takes over, and he's sandwiched in and somehow escapes for the lay-in. So that is his first bucket of the night. Lucas Dillon off the dribble, the floater, and he is able to get the better of Ryan Reed. So that was brotherly love against brotherly love.
Yeah, I tell you, when you see Lucas Dillon make a move like that, he does not look like a sophomore. He looks much more like a senior. That was just a veteran move, utilizing the spin, getting in the paint, and a beautiful finish.
And one of the things Dan Feeney talked about is when Lucas realizes that he could be the guy for 32 minutes, this team is going to take the next step forward.
Yeah, I think Lucas understands who's ahead of him and does a really nice job distributing the ball. This team will take on a whole new personality when some of these guys graduate and Lucas increases his responsibilities.
Because they'll have him for 2 more years. That's why it's so promising what he's already doing as a sophomore. And Dan Feeney even mentioned he's getting better by the day, so you can only imagine where he'll be at this time next year.
Monster screen by Sweeney on that pick and roll. Weedy's been quiet, but he can erupt in a hurry.
Puts up the awkward shot and somehow gets it to fall, just as Andrew Deloya said. He was quiet. Apparently he was listening.
He heard us from up top.
And that is a strong finish, which is going to be wiped off. An offensive foul charge against Tristan Thomas. That is going to be his second.
Yeah, you see here, what a great job by Lucas Dillon stepping in, getting his feet set, and taking it on the chest.
And while Lucas would love to take credit, that was actually Kyle, number 25,
I'm sorry, apologies,
who stood in. But no, Lucas, I'm sure, is going to say he taught him that in practice, Andrew. So they're all connected in some capacity. And Chaminade now has a chance to add some cushion to its 1-point advantage.
Trinity now snaps into a zone. Looks like a 3-2.
From the corner, can Dillon strike again? Yes, he can. Kyle's starting to heat up.
And I will give Kyle credit for that 3. I will not give it to his brother.
And a lot of activity away from the ball, and it was Kyle Dillon that drew another offensive foul against Holy Trinity. It's going to go against Makai Reed.
If the Wesleyan coaching staff is watching this game online, they're very happy to see those last 2 defensive possessions and the corner 3.
And we saw plays where he creates himself and then gets a good look from a teammate. Speaking of that, that's exactly what Elwood has off the feed from dribble penetration. And Jacob is picking up exactly where Kyle Dillon left off with a timeout here on the floor.
And that all started on defense, Lance. That gave them the momentum. Look at the kick out. Elwood gets his feet set. Backspin follow through rotation, nylon 3.
And just like that, it's a 7-point advantage for Chaminade as the Flyers were trailing for the majority of the first quarter. But Andrew, those shots that we saw were not falling in quarter number 1. All of a sudden, it's been the complete reverse.
Yeah, well, the constant has been their defense. They're working so hard defensively, and they were not getting frustrated with their shots not falling, and now they're in rhythm. They have some confidence. I think those 2 defensive charge plays that Dillon initiated got their offense going.
Giving them some extra energy to translate on the offensive end, as you could subscribe to our Varsity Media YouTube page and follow along with all of our upcoming broadcasts as well as highlights. And if you want to book a sportscast, you could do that as well. 516-403-2050 is the telephone number. You could also email ben@varsitymedia.net. As this is one of our first broadcasts of 2026, and so glad you could tune in with Chaminade up by 7 in the final 3 minutes of the first half.
And now they're back into that zone, which has worked so well.
They go inside. And a difficult shot put up by Nick Coupe, and he is going to draw a foul. The 6'5" junior, who is the tallest player on the roster.
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice, patient move by the big man. If you're Trinity, you're happy you got the foul call. If you're Chaminade, you're arguing the call.
And they got it against Lucas Dillon reaching in, as opposed to Sweeney, who was fronting.
Up. Yeah, he was bellying up.
So that is the second on Lucas, as Coupe knocks down the first. Last season, he was on the JV team. And one of the things that Steve Canoe said, Coupe is much more athletic than he looks. And it gives them perhaps another option on the interior.
I don't know, he looks pretty athletic to me.
Especially with that last release when he was double teamed. As Kyle Dillon goes reverse, and that is not going to cooperate for him. So quickly back the other way is Ryan Reed, and off the handoff, the Euro step by Ayaye with a much-needed bucket for the Titans.
That's Trinity's game, getting the defensive rebound, getting it out in transition, not allowing Chaminade to set up their defense, and getting an easy bucket.
And a turnover for the Flyers is going to give the ball back to Holy Trinity, and they have an opportunity to tie it up here with a 3.
Absolutely. You know, in talking with the coaches, Lance, they had so many great things to say about their assistants. On the Chaminade side, you have Terrence Murchie, who played at Cary High School, went on to Mercy College. Mike Ferrara, the freshman head coach, and Kevin Spahn. Kevin was a head coach at St. Joe's, played at Post. I mean, what a wealth of experience on the Chaminade bench.
As Ferrara is their defensive voice, and how about that maneuver by Coupe? So he absolutely looks the part of athleticism. As Chaminade not wasting any time surveying the court here with Kyle Dillon drawing the double and the foul.
Yeah, and on the Trinity side, Coach has a great coaching staff of his own. Coach Fischetti played at Fredonia, 10 years with the program. The JV coach is James Goloszewski, who played at Catholic University, was a part of the 2014 state championship team and the 2015 Player of the Year in the conference. And then he has Mike Sixsmith as the assistant JV coach.
Which is a great basketball name, by the way.
Isn't it? And he used to hit threes, man.
Well, I was going to say, if he didn't, that would be problematic.
He could shoot from deep.
We may need to debate whether or not he's worthy of that last name.
Oh,
so
he is. The whole family is.
I'm happy that he fulfilled the label as a steal here by Chaminade, and helter-skelter play is going to return the favor to the Titans. With Ryan Reed off the drop step, puts up the floater, and how about another offensive board and a twirly finish by Makai Reeves.
Both of these teams can score in bunches. It's going to be interesting as we head into the second half to see the adjustments these coaches make at halftime.
Elwood in the lane. And Holy Trinity is not going to let Chaminade reset, with Ayaye flipping it up and drawing the foul.
You know, Lance, just back to the assistant coaches. One of the things in speaking with the coaches, they value the input of the assistant coaches. They listen to these guys and they take their suggestions, and it makes for really efficient practices. This time of the year, these guys, they're not going 2.5 hours. You know, they're going an hour and 45 minutes, getting things done, keeping these guys fresh.
Ayaye is 1 of 2 tonight, so you can make that 2 of 3. You talked about the intensity of practice. One of the things that Dan Feeney emphasized when we were just discussing the overall roster, he feels the bench guys are pushing the starters on a daily basis, and that's why this team is that much more stronger and versatile.
Yeah, it's a culture thing. I mean, I've watched them practice. I watched them practice a few weeks ago. Their practice is so intense and it's so organized, but they don't go for, they go for like an hour and 40 really, really difficult, high-energy situations that prep them for games like this. It's fun to watch.
Kyle Dillon has his shot blocked out of play by Coupe. As Kyle has 7 of his team's 26 points. And he's going to get the ball back here. with 32 seconds to go. And how about that pretty release by Jake Elwood, who has had the hot hand.
Chaminade does such a great job on their set pieces. That was a perfectly executed baseline out of bounds play. And look at this out of the 1-3-1. No, that's Elwood on the steal and the Euro.
And the finish at the rim as defense creates offense on the opposite side.
Yeah, that zone is really giving Trinity some problems. Expect coach to make some adjustments. That's what they need to do. They need to attack it.
And that's exactly what they do at the buzzer, with Ryan Reed maneuvering around the defense with his left hand.
Leave that part up. Who's going to talk to them?
No. Take this one off. This is the mic. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we bring in Dan Feeney here, and Dan, certainly a back and forth in the first half. What did you like about how your team responded in the second quarter, specifically once the shots started to fall?
I'm just glad we're not down 10 or 15 at halftime like we've been for the last week and a half. So responding from a few points down in the first half is a small task compared to what we've done over the last few weeks. So I'm happy to be up 2 at this point.
Yeah, Dan, it looks like you got a lot of juice out of that 1-3-1, and obviously it looked like the 2 charges by Dylan gave you guys some energy.
Yeah, he's done that for 3 years for us on the varsity, and I don't know, he'll do that for 12-plus games left in the season, and hopefully he gets another 1 or 2 of those in the second half. He does whatever it takes to win.
Dan, what about the play Jake Elwood seemed to provide a lift, especially with his three-point shooting, and really what that says about the multiple options on your team?
Yeah, he's a piece of what we do. He's a valuable piece of what we do. He is a self-made player that's worked his tail off to get to where he's at and to get on the court and stay on the court for us. He started the year off terribly shooting the ball. He's a very good shooter, never mind not a bad shooter. So missing a few shots for him, it doesn't really wane him because he knows he can play and knows he can make shots. So he just did what he did right now, what he does every day in practice.
Dan, appreciate the time and best of luck in the second half.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Absolutely. The head coach of Chaminade, Dan Feeney, with his thoughts on what transpired over the first 2 quarters. And Elwood, he mentioned, really starting to find his shooting range. He had 19 points in a key comeback victory against St. Raymond's in one of their last few games. And that could be a positive sign for him in terms of turning the corner based on what we saw in quarter number 2.
Yeah, Elwood was a key part of that first half. Also, Diego Dersh is starting to come around, and these guys, when they're clicking on all cylinders, they're a scary team to play against.
As we take a look at that long-range shooting, Jake Elwood fired up, and rightfully so, as he was able to pour in a pair of threes and a pair of twos to mix and match his production, with Chaminade leading by 2 at the break, 31-29 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again, off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another 3. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
There's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Back here in Mineola, New York at Chaminade High School with the Flyers leading Holy Trinity 31-29 as we get ready to start the third quarter, a back-and-forth affair, and it was Holy Trinity that set the tone early with some of their three-point shooting. But, Andrew, one of the things that you noted in the second quarter, as good as the offense was for Chaminade, it was their defensive intensity that opened up things, specifically in transition a bit.
Yeah, they're doing a good job staying in front of the Trinity drivers, and when Trinity has been able to get in the paint, they've created opportunities either at the rim or for an open three-point shot. I thought the adjustment of going to the 1-3-1 really helped Chaminade. They got a little spurt out of that. It's a chess match. Now you see what adjustments were made at halftime. How will Trinity attack the 1-3-1 if Chaminade goes back to it? And then it comes down to who's going to make more shots in the second half.
And that man knocked down plenty. Jacob Elwood, who is inbounding. He was able to pour in 11 points in that first half as he gets the ball back. And we'll reset things. Speaking of threes, Weedy, who is relatively quiet, only had 2 points in the first half, can't swish it home.
Yeah, in our last broadcast where we were covering Chaminade versus St. Mary's, Weedy had 28 points. He nailed 6 of those threes. He was on fire. He was player of the game.
As tonight he's been more of a facilitator. And here's the pull-up jumper by Ryan Reed, and he is able to put it through the bottom of the net to give himself 6 points.
The lost art of the mid-range jump shot is not lost on the Reed brothers. They are both really, really good at pulling up in the paint and hitting those 15-footers.
The Dillon brothers, unfortunately, resulting in a turnover as Kyle took one too many steps. Verzosa, he hit a 3 in the first half. And again, they go inside, outside to try to set something up for Miles Reed, and he has his pocket picked, and then a foul as they were trying to push it forward with Dersh. So they're going to get Miles Reed, and that is number 3 on him and the team's first here in the third.
Yeah, that's a big foul, getting 3 this early in the third quarter. We'll see if Chaminade tries to go at him on this possession.
And here's Kyle Dillon, a great look. As Thomas secures the rebound. The curl and a miscommunication there between Ayeye and Verzosa.
Yeah, I thought Verzosa was open. I think if he just finished his cut, kept his eye on the basketball, he would have had an easy layup.
Lucas Dillon had 7 points in the first half with his back to the bucket, trying to find some type of an alley.
Lucas Dillon does such a good job of keeping his dribble alive until he can find a teammate.
Dersh with the turnaround, and it's going to be one shot and one possession for Chaminade. Reed with the runner. And the loose ball tap back out to Verzosa, who puts a slick move on Chaminade, and here's another second chance by Ayeye cleaning it up.
Great job keeping that ball alive.
And this is going to be last touched by Chaminade as Lucas Dillon could not hold on to it as he lost his footing.
Yeah, it's so interesting in high school games how you see the momentum shift. You felt Chaminade get that momentum shift in the second quarter, and right now you just get the sense that Trinity has the momentum.
And a lot of it has just been their aggressiveness and their hustle underneath the bucket, getting the offensive rebounding.
And great move by Coach Feeney going back to the 1-3-1, which got him going in the second quarter. Why not go back to the well defensively?
And Elwood adding up to now 13 points as Lucas Dillon is able to set up his brother for the easy lay-in.
Here it is again. Look, I mean, with Diego Dersh in the middle, Weedy in the back, Dillon up front, it's just they have the right personnel for this defense, and that's the way to attack it for Trinity. That's the great adjustment by Coach at halftime.
The extra pass to Verzosa. He overshoots the rim. And Chaminade, all of a sudden, in control of this one with Lucas Dillon left all alone and not able to make the Titans pay. So Holy Trinity dodges a bullet there. Miles Reed is going to work his way out of the double team as Ryan Reed can't cash it in. Weedy was thinking about the three, and great hands from behind by Verzosa to prevent that penetration in the paint. And we're going to have a substitution as Miles Reed is going to get a breather, and Makai Reeves will check back in.
Coach is trying to keep Miles Reed from getting his fourth and get him a breather simultaneously. What a great move by Dillon.
Kyle Dillon, slippery, right through the heart of the Holy Trinity defense. His second bucket of the second half.
He looked like Manu Ginobili on those strides.
So does that make Lucas Tony Parker?
It does.
I don't know who Tim Duncan is, but maybe they'll unveil themselves somehow in this game as Verzosa unveiling the long-range shooting yet again.
Great stroke on that one. Trinity needed that.
From way downtown is Elwood that skims the rim to Dersh. As Dersh kept his feet in play. And then as there was a kick out up to the perimeter.
I think the question was whether to reset the shot clock. That ball did hit the rim, though. I don't know if we have that on.
Yeah, that was not a clean air ball. As we're going to take a glance perhaps here.
I thought it hit the rim. Yeah, right there, Nick, the rim.
And that did not hit the rim as Kyle Dillon wanted a deflection before it went out of play, but it was just off of his fingertips.
We mentioned it earlier. Typically, the Catholic League goes with 3 officials. Today, they're two-man crew. So these guys are looking at the game from a little bit of a different angle than they have been, unless they've been working the public school games.
But so far, they've been on top of just about everything.
Yeah, they're really doing a nice job. This is a tough game to officiate because of the style of play.
As Ayeye just loses it. And this is the one thing that Steve Canoe said they can't have happen, the turnovers. You don't want to give Chaminade extra possessions. Here's Kyle Dillon off the dribble, and he takes full advantage of a clear path. So Kyle Dillon is now up to 13 points, matching wits with Elwood. As we see this 2-3 zone with Thomas going baseline. And we're going to have a whistle from the far side official. It's going to go against Weedy.
This 1-3-1 has just broken up Trinity's rhythm a little bit. I'd like to see them ball screen the top of it, maybe get in the paint, get their drivers into the paint for kickouts and for drop-off passes to the block. There you go. When they attack like that, they're in good shape.
Ryan Reed can't finish, but there is Holy Trinity on the offensive glass with Makai Reeves, his second bucket. And off the steal, Verzosa's got a pathway, and he takes off for the lay-in.
Back and forth, score flipped again.
So Verzosa's up to 8. Can Chaminade respond in this seesaw battle? Unsuccessful as Dersh. Kyle Dillon again, and they're going to get a blocking foul on the Titans. It's going to be Ayeye. That'll be his first, and the team second.
Yeah, you see right there on the turnover, Trinity doing a really nice job on this two-on-one. Verzosa made a great decision to take it on his own. The defender did not come and take away the lane.
Yeah, and Emmett Nelson just lost control of the ball. Here's Elwood firing. A good look back the other way. misfiring for Ayeye. And a second chance yet again as Verzosa is able to strike gold with his third triple.
Little mini 5-point run for Verzosa.
So he is now up to 11, and the tables have turned with a 4-point lead for the Titans, and this is going to go the opposite way. It's going to be an offensive foul. It's going to be Lucas Dillon picking up his third.
You got Lucas Dillon with 3. You got Miles Reed with 3. It's going to be interesting in the fourth quarter to see how the game is officiated and see how that plays a role.
The energy for Holy Trinity helping to create a boost, and can they get another? As Verzosa was unable to put it through the net, and then yet another turnover here. And these lost possessions can add up over the course of a game. So Ryan Reed is going to do the honors. And Chaminade trying to keep close tabs on number 3, Verzosa. He has exploded here in the third. Reed off balance. And how about that finish? The mid-range jumper is alive and well thanks to the junior guard. Kyle Dillon, speaking of mid-range. And Reeves secures another rebound. Off the dribble. They flip it up with Reed. And that one unable to fall through. So it is a 6-point lead for the road team, with Chaminade trying to stop the bleeding here. Shot clock is off, so they can hold for the last licks here. Elwood through a lot of traffic. He gets it back. He pops it up. And the follow is going to count at the buzzer as it stands right now. We'll see whether or not they discuss it, and they are. Off the miss by Elwood, there was a bank shot off the right post, as we're going to take another look here. You're first going to see Elwood get his own miss.
See, Elwood came from out of bounds. I'm not sure.
And then it was Lucas Dillon.
See, that's a legitimate shot attempt. It was blocked. I'm just not sure.
And there was a foul as well
on Tristan Thomas.
So that's why we're going to have a free throw here too. And it is going to stay a 4-point game as Lucas Dillon working his magic on the offensive glass. And as a result, the late surge pulls Chaminade within 4 after 3. Final quarter coming up as Holy Trinity shot lights out in the third, thanks to that young man, Verzosa, finding the geography of the court in his favor. 45-41 Titans after 3 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Quite the finish to the third quarter as we welcome you back here in Mineola with Lucas Dillon having a chance for a 3-point play. He missed the free throw, but that was quite the possession, with Elwood being left all alone on a play that may have been blocked, may have not, and it resulted in a late opportunity for the Flyers.
You know, we spoke about it in the opening, but this is where the non-conference difficult schedule comes into play. Both of these teams are battle-tested, and both teams are hoping it pays dividends heading into this fourth quarter.
As Verzosa is going to head to the free throw line, fouled on the runner.
super impressed with Jagger Verzosa tonight. He's done a really nice job offensively. He's known for his ability to dish the basketball, but he certainly has found his rhythm offensively and showcased his ability to score the basketball.
It's his first trip to the line today. He's the 4th leading scorer with just over 10 points a game, but as you mentioned, he leads the team in assists. And Steve Ganous considers him the coach on the floor, an extension of the staff. And he has made so many signature plays, and you can add now more based on what he is doing here in the second half as he makes 1 of 2. And that reversal is going to fall through for Lucas Dillon, who continues to torque his body in ways that some thought were unimaginable.
That was an unbelievable lefty finish with English. Looked like Steve Nash on that one.
And Thomas is making his presence felt loud and clear. The big man has the range.
He showcased his ability to shoot the 3 today.
That is his 4th triple. Weedy has been relatively quiet, settles for the 2, and Reeves is there for the board. And puts his foot to the pedal, and there to clean it up again is Ayeye, who has had a field day underneath. He's now up to 11, and it is an 8-point lead for Holy Trinity here with a timeout on the floor. So we'll take a look here at the upcoming schedule for the Titans as they'll play Kellenberg and Smithtown East in their next 2 games before they visit St. Mary's and St. John Baptist, and rounding out the 4 games here in the early stages of January. Chaminade will have 2 straight road games, St. Anthony's and St. Dominic, before they eventually will take part in the Hoop Hall Invitational on January 18th. As both of these teams have been battle-tested thus far. Double overtime win that Chaminade is coming off of, 89-87, as they've played multiple games in a short period of time. This is their 4th game in the last 5 days, but Dan Feeney's not concerned about whether or not his team's got enough gas because he said they all love basketball. They're gym rats, so this is nothing new for them. As the Dillon brothers work the left side of the court here, and this is going to go the opposite way, an offensive foul. So that is number 1 on Kyle.
Chaminade extending that zone pressure.
They get it up ahead to Thomas, and Thomas, before there was contact, called for a travel. So with 6.5 minutes to go, Holy Trinity holding on to an 8-point lead. And it is the Flyers in a position that they've been in not too long ago. They trailed St. Raymond's and used a 19-0 run to erase a 13-point lead. Weedy bulldozes his way inside, but cannot finish. And quickly back the other way, and rolling it home is Ryan Reed, a man on a mission. The pace picking up with Dersh, and it was last touched by Holy Trinity. As Verzosa trying to make a case that it was off a flyer last, to no avail. Chance of defense heard by the Chaminade crowd.
A little screen-to-screener action for Weedy.
Weedy with a man in his face. And Thomas going sky high to prevent a second chance. Reed digging deep into his arsenal of moves here as they'll leave it to Ayeye. Kyle Dillon up at his grill.
Very smart by Trinity to take a little bit of time off that clock.
And Kyle Dillon's defensive intensity leads to an offensive foul against Ayeye. That is his second.
with a 10-point lead. Even though they didn't score in that possession, they took about 20, 25 seconds off the shot clock. It's not the worst thing in the world. That's not a good thing for
Defense
Trinity.
fell asleep. So Lucas Dillon was able to glide his way to the basket. It stays an 8-point game here. As Holy Trinity up in a comfortable position, and Thomas floats it through for his 5th three of the day. He's up to 15. Inside, Elwood responds to cut into the deficit. Well, it's going to be very hard for Chaminade if they're going to trade 3s for 2s. And off the curl, they did not get a wide open look. It went off of Ayeye last as Kyle Dillon tried to get his hand on it. We approach 4.5 minutes to go here in the 4th. And Chaminade trying to extend a 3-game winning streak. They're going to have to do it with a rally, and that's not going to help the cause. Verzosa up ahead, the double scoop. And the finish off a nifty maneuver by Ryan Reed. And a timeout taken by Chaminade as this entire bench was uplifted by the play of the backcourt from the Titans. They have silenced this crowd with an 11-point advantage.
Great finish on this side of the rim by Reed. Adjusted, used the proper English. Great finish.
So Ryan Reed, the second leading scorer on the season, getting out in transition as he now has 10 points. He's in double figures. We look at our upcoming sportscast with Cardinal Hayes hosting Monsignor Scanlon coming up on January 9th. And you can watch that on youtube.com/varsity media. As we are here in Mineola, New York, and it is the road team, Holy Trinity, 10-1 on the season, coming into Chaminade and extending its lead to 11 points. And they've gotten defensive stops, Andrew, and the one thing they're not doing is they're not interested in playing half-court basketball. They have constantly pushed the tempo of this game.
Yeah, and every time they've done that, when they've attacked the basket, they've either gotten a finish or they've gotten an offensive rebound. And in doing that, they haven't allowed Chaminade to set up their defense. And when Chaminade has had the ability to set up their half-court defense, either the 1-3-1 or their man-to-man where they're able to stay in front, good things have happened for Chaminade. So very smart by Trinity to do what they do well.
To get the numbers in their favor and not have to play continuously 5-on-5 basketball, as we see Reeves applying a little bit of pressure with Dillon and Elwood trying to break it down.
And very smart by Trinity just to take a little bit of time off the clock. You have an 11-point lead, and every second counts, and you can take 10 or 12 seconds off by adjusting your defense and making Chaminade work for one. Chaminade doesn't have as much time as they think right now. They got to go.
10 on the shot clock for Lucas Dillon from right to left, and it looks like Holy Trinity may have gotten a piece of that. That was Reeves on defense, as Ayeye is going to look to milk some of this clock with his teammates. Can't talk enough about what Ryan Reed has done this evening.
Chaminade still has 2 fouls to give before they're in the bonus, and that's great that they didn't foul in that scenario and were able to create a turnover.
And Reed and Verzosa just were not on the same page. It looked like Verzosa wanted to cut to the basket. Instead, Reed wanted to kick it out. 3.5 minutes to go here in the 4th. And Chaminade in need of a spark plug. Here's Lucas Dillon. He was trying to draw the contact on the pump. So Holy Trinity will have yet another shot to milk clock, and instead they're going to get a quick release and a free throw thanks to the cut by Thomas.
Yeah, it was a great job by Holy Trinity executing their offense. You see here, as it develops from the backside, you see a great backdoor cut by Thomas to get open and draw the foul on Dillon.
So that is the second on Kyle.
And a great pass by Ayeye to find his teammate.
First attempt by Tristan Thomas at the line tonight. He now has 16 points, so that's the first time that he didn't rely on the 3-ball to put the ball through. And you can understand why his former coach, Joe Conifrey, is keeping close tabs on him and is interested in bringing him to Malloy.
With his size and athleticism, if he can shoot the ball the way he shot the ball tonight, he's going to make a college coach somewhere in the country very happy.
Here's Weedy from the corner, and finally their sharpshooter drains it.
And that's the Weedy we saw against St. Mary's on our last broadcast. He can score in bunches. This game is far from over.
As they put the trap together, which leads to a timeout taken by Steve Ganous. He knew that Ryan Reed had nowhere to go.
And that was a great use of the timeout to save the possession by Coach.
It was also right in front of their bench, so it gave them the perfect angle to say, let's talk things over as we look at the last 3 seasons for the Titans. And 13-11 a year ago. Prior to that, 16-8, and 13-12, and 22-23. This is the first season for Ganous, so all of these records was under the tutelage of Conifrey, who was there for 19 seasons. He is still the all-time winningest coach, but Ganous learned everything by watching Joe up close and personal. And the one thing that Dan Feeney, Andrew, pointed out when we asked him what his vantage point from where he's been this season has been of Holy Trinity, he said they've pretty much picked up where they left off. The style is similar. The players have improved. There has been no noticeable dip.
Well, their staff has always had just tremendous continuity, and Coach Ganous has always been a part of it. And Coach Conifrey left him a really good situation, and kudos to Coach for taking the ball and running with it. And he's really doing an excellent job with this team. I'm super impressed of their blend of the athleticism and the ability to execute. It's a dangerous combination.
So they try to apply the trap again, and Ryan Reed does an excellent job breaking it down and pulling up for the jumper.
That's one of those ones where Coach is like, I don't know, and then he's like, yes, great shot.
He's up to 12 points. Speaking of pull-up Jays, they just can't get into rhythm. Is Lucas Dillon off the mark on that one?
They got to give one more foul real quick here just to get it going in the bonus.
Chaminade has 3 personals right now.
Now at this point, you don't want to foul. You either want to foul right away or play it out. But
because by that time, Ayeye took so much additional time off of the possession.
Yeah, they're in scramble mode right now.
So that'll be the 3rd on Kyle Dillon. That's the team's 4th. We're going to see Sweeney come in. He's going to give Dersh a breather. And we'll see Kyle Dillon head to the bench. And in for him is Nicholas Kalura.
A little bit of offense, defense, I think, by Coach Feeney, knowing he needs to foul or get a steal here.
Verzosa was able to pull 2 defenders his way. And now it'll be Kalura who came in to pick up the foul, and we see already Kyle Dillon is up as well as Dersh as they're going to return for the next offensive possession. And that was the 5th foul, so now we're in the bonus. And this is going to be a chance for Ryan Reed, who's 0 for 2 from the line today. And one of the things that Steve Ganous highlighted leading up to this game, it's the quickness and the speed that Ryan Reed effectively utilizes. And boy, did he run some circles around Chaminade defenders today.
Yeah, he's got that next gear, that ability to change speed, change direction. Super impressed with his game as well as his brothers today.
And Ryan Reed makes both. So he is now up to 14 points. They're going to give it up to Elwood, and wasn't able to get a clean release, and Verzosa unable to lay it in, but another crash of the glass, and this time it's Tristan Thomas who is up to 19. Elwood off the twirl, and Thomas is stockpiling statistics late in this game. And he's doing it on both ends. And as we approach a minute to go, and that pass a little too high for Reeves to handle from Ryan Reed. So it looks like Dan Feeney is going to empty out the bench and bring in a fresh set of players. It's Holy Trinity holding a 16-point lead with over a minute to go. And we're going to see Ryan Reed head to the bench.
Ryan Fenley checked in number 10. He is such a vocal energy guy in practice for Chaminade. I watched their practice. He takes the scout team, tells guys where to go. He's just got a great personality on the court. It's also nice to see these guys get a couple minutes. They work so hard in practice trying to make the team better and earn their minutes.
John DeLuca also in. Here's Calora, 13 on the shot clock. DeLuca's a senior from Port Washington. And the runner blocked out of play by Verzosa. So he's doing a little bit of everything. Verzosa at 5'9", able to swat away the shot by Fenley. As now Ganous going deeper into his bench. J.R. Heredia, senior, coming in to give Tristan Thomas some pounds from his teammates as he heads to the bench.
What a great all-around game by Tristan Thomas. I thought the impact players, Ryan Reed and Thomas, did exceptionally well, and Jagger Verzosa had an excellent game as well. The entire squad played well, earning this victory.
Here's the release for Calora, way off the mark. And the rebound is going to give him a second chance opportunity, but it's not going to bounce his way as Sweeney continues to fight his way towards the basket and is able to get that up and in. And we're going to have a foul taken by DeLuca.
What a great early season matchup we witnessed today. I wouldn't be surprised if you see these teams battling in the playoffs.
Well, great execution in the second half by Holy Trinity. And a lot of the second chance effort plays showed up. It was Thomas with his three-point shooting. It was the ability for Ryan Reed to get to the basket. Even Makai Reeves off the bench, I thought, gave them some quality minutes as they make 1 of 2 from the line there.
Yeah, when Trinity plays this style of basketball and Chaminade doesn't have their best shooting night, this is the result. Crowd is really rooting for Fenley here.
Final seconds ticking away here as DeLuca tries to stuff it inside, and off the steal, they're just going to dribble it out. Holy Trinity comes into Mineola in Chaminade's house and knocks off the Flyers 67-52 to extend its winning streak to 6 games and improve to 11-1 on the season with a impressive performance from start to finish. And it was Tristan Thomas that had a team-high 19 points with 5 threes. He averages a double-double on the season, 13 points, 10 rebounds, and he is able to come through with 19 points as we bring in Tristan here. And Tristan, first of all, congratulations on the win, but let's focus on your performance. You knocked down 5 threes in this game. What was it about the ball movement that created good looks for you from the perimeter tonight?
You know, my teammates, they came in, they drove to the basket, they kicked it out to me for 3, and we worked on this every day. This is
Tristan, what are some of the goals that you and your teammates have moving forward coming off this victory?
You know, we got to go out there, compete every day.
Yes, sir.
Go and practice, grind hard, and we're looking for a state championship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This was a Chaminade team, Tristan, that came in 9-3, 3-game winning streak, battle-tested in non-conference play. What does it say about your defense to hold them in the low 50s?
You know, that's what our brand of basketball is. You know, we play defense every day. That's what we work on in practice every day.
That's the game.
You know, this team, they're really good. You know, we saw them beat Holy Cross the other night, and we're consistent. You know.
Well, consistent is certainly a great way to describe it. Before we let you go, I want to ask you your perspective on what Ryan Reed did tonight. At that point guard position, it just seemed like he always had his foot on the pedal, knew when to pick it up. How fun is it to play alongside him and be able to get feeds from his ball distribution?
Man, Ryan, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. Let's pull him up. He works on it every day, you know. It's an honor to play with him. It's really a blessing, truly a blessing.
Well, it was an honor to watch you play from our vantage point. Congratulations, Tristan. 19 points to lead the way in a big victory for your squad over Chaminade. Enjoy it, and best of luck moving forward.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
You got it. Our pleasure. As we take a look at the celebration on the court here, they're not even letting him take off his headset. That's how amped up they were, and it's great to just see one teammate so excited about the other and them spreading the wealth, which was really on full display here in Mineola.
Yeah, both of these programs have established a culture, a certain culture about it. You know, it's a team atmosphere, and it's so nice when you see players happy for their teammates. And Tristan Thomas deserves all the accolades he received.
And it was a balanced attack. Thomas and Ryan Reed specifically scoring in double figures, but the rebounding from Makai Reeves. And let's also not overlook Jagger Verzosa, who you had even brought up multiple times. It was his three-point shooting and also his ability to run and gun and put Chaminade in maybe a bit of an uncomfortable position on defense.
Yeah, in high school basketball, when you have two good players, it's great. When you have 3 or 4 contributing, you're gonna go far in the playoffs. And if they can have Reed and the Reed brothers and Thomas and Jagger playing in that way, they have the sky's the limit.
For Chaminade, their 3-game winning streak comes to an end, but this is yet another teachable lesson. And it reminds me, Dan Feeney was talking about the fact that they were on the wrong end of a very tough loss to Christ the King to start the season, and he thought that helped set the tone for how they responded. Maybe this loss, Andrew, does the exact same thing here as they turn the page to 2026.
Listen, there's nothing to be ashamed of when your losses are to Christ the King, Lutheran, Lincoln Prep, and Holy Trinity. You want to be great in late February, early March, and I think Chaminade is going to be a team that teams are not going to want to face in the playoffs, and Trinity has all the tools to have a championship season.
Especially based on the balanced attack that we saw over the course of this game. Lucas Dillon was able to give Chaminade an early lift, and then his brother Kyle joining in on the fun. But Holy Trinity, a relentless effort on the offensive glass as we see Verzosa dial it up from long range. And then that man, Tristan Thomas, not 1, not 2, 5 trays as he was able to pound his chest multiple times, with Ryan Reed putting the finishing touches with a mid-range jumper. A lot of excitement for Holy Trinity with an impressive victory here on the road at Mineola. The executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Chris Sweeney. For the rest of our crew, including my partner, Andrew Deloya, I'm Lance Meadows saying so long from Chaminade as the Holy Trinity Titans improved to 11-1 and 2-0 on the road with an impressive victory in the early stages of 2026, as this has been a presentation of the Varsity Media Sports Network.